Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up.
The line's wrapped around the stadium.
Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's gonna be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to. He look crazy, Bill.
Good feet on the old man.
This is some back. Oh, you know, I love.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. Welcome in to a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. As always, built by our friends over at RNB Builders, Rhett Bourgeois and the crew. Hit them on Instagram. They can build you a brand new house today. Our phone line is brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group, Real Doctors, Real Solutions. Shout out to Charlie Harvey and Jason Ramazan. Stop in and see them over at Metropolitan Health Group. As always, every Wednesday, Jacques is going to be here. We got a full house. No carpool anymore for the carpool queen, a now retired queen, as she put her crown on the shelf.
She drove herself home from school, the bus from the track meet in Lafayette back to Episcopal, and then she drove home at 10:30 at night from Episcopal to our house.
Oh, she drove from Lafayette?
No. They were on a bus. I'm just saying.
Bus,
it was the first night drive. I was like, do you want me to come up to school and meet you?
Oh
Mom.
my God, you're so clingy.
Mom, I can drive home from the school. I was like, well, it's nighttime.
Maybe you should. Did you track her the whole way?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
What?
I mean, you know you're going to be that way.
Oh, no doubt I am.
I mean,
Well,
shut
he
up,
can't
Lloyd.
even keep his kid in class paying attention.
Tough lesson yesterday at the Culotta household. Tough to keep a straight face.
My man's trying to play
That
swipe
made me
baseball.
mad. That made me mad.
So you're looking.
Jordan!
What do you? I did my work.
Little baby, bro? Seriously?
Olivia Dunn. I'm pretty proud of you. All
I
right.
love that it was a little baby video.
You got good taste in music. You got better taste in women. You got to get off the thing during this class, man.
But the real
You can't be a
problem.
dumbass your whole life.
Real problem is you're playing baseball on your iPad. I thought we were a basketball family.
Right. He's starting to.
Uh-oh.
No,
He's starting to lean. But I think that we've missed out on the travel
Yeah, it's too
ball
late.
era.
You have.
It's too late.
And I almost believe that this would be the time.
It's gonna be amazing if he goes in there and he's just a stud at
I was gonna
baseball.
say,
And
how
he
old-
missed all
how old
those
is he?
years
Right?
of all the craziness. Yes.
Ooh, 12?
And you don't ever have to do
Oh,
that.
coach, you could. I mean,
Like
you
if
still
this
got
is, if
time
he's still got a little time.
Yeah.
to like.
And then, like, by the time, like, the transition's fully made, I mean, like,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
showtime.
He
And I
can
mean,
just go straight into school baseball and skip all the BS.
He's already a good
I'm
athlete.
telling
sure,
you, I
coach.
mean,
you
like,
could-
we
you
had
got this.
we had to talk a couple of weeks ago because, like, the AAU circuit,
It's-
sixth grade is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 12 years old is a different age. I mean, like, there's a couple of kids out there that you're like, he's a pro.
Yeah.
That kid's gonna be a pro.
Taking off.
Like, I mean, like,
Where's
that
his
kid's
bird?
gonna be a pro. I promise you. If it's not here, he's gonna be an SEC wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like,
You're Italian, son.
I mean, like,
this
yes.
is it for you.
So, Jordan, look around, man.
You
know
might
what I
be
mean?
this height
Like,
the rest of your life.
If we're lucky,
2 more
we're
inches.
6 feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
There's not many
I
of us out
mean, your
there.
mom's got a couple of brothers that give us a little bit of hope, but if you're counting on us, son, I mean,
It's not
you know
this
what I
side.
mean? Like,
Start stretching.
right?
How tall is he now, though?
He's tall. He's like in the upper percentile.
So he's taller
but,
than
you
you
know,
were
I mean,
at
kind
his
of like
age?
that's how I mean we grow early. You
Yeah.
know, like Italians grow early. You know, like,
Yeah.
I was 5'8" in 7th grade.
You were?
You know, like with
That
a full beard.
Yeah.
This kid's gonna be a lottery pick.
He drove himself to the game.
First round draft pick.
24.
First round draft pick.
Still the
height,
same age.
But
Still the same
lost my
size,
hair.
right? Basketball uniform still fits,
I still play.
but it
You
was
can still get in those pants up there.
right. Exactly. I looked great at the alumni game.
Yeah. Same uniform.
Right.
I mean, that's how the Irish are. I'm the same,
But
same
you
thing
know,
happened to
I'm
me.
like, Jay, you watch a lot of NBA hoop. You know what I mean? And like, he's still at that age where you're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he's like, I want to be a professional football player. I'm like, all right, well, that's really hard. You know what I mean? Like, that is really tough
did
to
I.
do, dude. You know what I mean? Like, but so let's okay, I love it, bro. Let's reach for the stars. But I was like, you know, I mean, like, what do you love? Like, what do you love to do? You know, it's still all sports oriented. But now I'm like, you know, I mean, like, dude, there's not a lot of 6-foot white guys in the NBA.
Nope.
There's not a lot of 6-foot defensive backs, white defensive backs in the league, right? I'm like, but there are a ton of sub 6-foot millionaires in Major League Baseball. So if you want to do this thing, bro, like
That's
I
the
mean,
sport.
Like, and now he bought MLB Showtime for
MLB The Show?
Yeah, the show for the Xbox, and I got him a baseball glove for his for Christmas. And I mean, like every afternoon, we're out there. I'm like throwing fly balls to him. Scabies.
This is all new to you.
Yeah.
It's new to me.
Because
Yeah, right. And I mean, like I said, it was. I mean, I'm kind of like, dude, if you want to make the move, like we'll go just play like 20 summer league games.
You can get
See
him on a
if you
team.
really like it.
Yeah, why not?
He's
you
not
know?
going to deal well with the failure that comes with baseball.
Yeah,
Probably
baseball
so.
is
And the
tough game.
downtime. I mean, there's a lot of standing around.
That's
I
the
mean,
best
he's
part.
Very active. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like that's yo. What's up, bro?
How'd you know the
Stranger.
code to get in?
Her feet.
But yeah, the downtime is when, like, obviously he knows how to kill time in class, so he'll do just fine. But
He's a
that's
smart man.
Yeah, that's when you make your relationships on the baseball team, and
Absolutely.
it just gets you in more trouble.
Right.
So it's a catch-22 because the more you're around the boys in the dugout and there's downtime, you learn things from other people that you probably wouldn't hear or see from older
I can't even imagine.
Oh, baseball.
Especially like
What
if
goes on
you
in
make
there.
varsity as a freshman and you're in the dugout with seniors, you hear things that you're like, she did what now? And you're just like, awesome.
Wow.
You're awesome.
You got that on the way to school?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you're like, I can't wait to get a car.
Yeah, I mean, like her life changed.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
It did.
She probably didn't come
Like,
straight home.
My life changed.
No doubt.
She did come straight home, boy.
Oh yeah, you were watching the. So
She
do you just-
also
Just a little meetup.
she
Yeah.
qualified for state, by the way, in the 4x1 and hurdles.
Sophie.
Yeah.
So Katie, do
She's
you
killing
watch
it.
the dot as she drives? Like
No, I
Finally
don't
got
do
us an
that.
athlete
I'm
in
not
that
that
Allagood
psycho.
household.
Hey,
I'm
little
not that
Jay, are you
psycho.
listening? She's tall.
She's tall. She towers over him.
Oh, golf. That's another one he could pick
Yeah,
up.
golf is great.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about a white people sport.
Yeah, Cooper's been playing golf. Y'all need to play.
damn.
Oh
He
yeah.
played at U Club for the first time this weekend and fell in love with it.
Oh well, yeah. That's a. Sorry,
Who?
David.
Cooper. He's gotten into golf.
Yeah, it's
He's
perfect.
like, that's the best course I've ever seen in my life.
That's a little hard. It's a starter.
That's a great. Yeah, if you're going to start there, that's a great place to start.
he
because
plays at Webble Beach mostly.
Oh yeah, he takes out some cars. Mm-hmm. That's the fun part too. But if he wants to go to U Club, just tell him to go to the practice holes. They don't check.
Well, he said they have the best balls for the practice balls. They're like
They do. They have
whatever
the little
brand.
LSU,
Yeah,
they're
he was like,
Titleist.
every ball, the practice ball is amazing. I'm like,
What a great
cool.
reputation.
I know, right?
Great balls.
Yeah, it is a great.
Seriously, to me, the sleeper course of Baton Rouge, it's outside of Baton Rouge, is Beaver
Creek.
Where is that?
100%.
Zachary.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Is it Zachary?
Yeah.
Is it in Zachary?
Mm-hmm. It's like a little 30-minute jaunt.
But it's beautiful. It's a,
and
it's a
once
great
you
drive.
get out there,
It's a great drive.
Oh yeah. And
Are there beavers out there?
it depends
they
on
call
who's.
it that?
It depends on who's
Depends on the day.
Depends on if the cart girl's out.
They have those soft range balls or not?
They're yellow.
But yeah, I mean, to me, Beaver Creek's always been kind of like a diamond, a sleeper.
100%. Nobody knows about
Nobody
it.
knows. Yeah,
It's,
every time you're out there, it's kind of wide open.
it's the best. It feels
then-
like you're not even
I agree.
in Baton Rouge or
Is
like
the
in
Bluff
the
still
city.
open?
No, but that used to be the spot. Like
was
No,
the spot.
they
what
let
happened
it.
to that?
I don't. They got a
just went
dispute
under, man.
between the ownership of the
Yeah.
people that lived there
to
wanted to
hear
buy the course. It's
And so it's
'Cause it
just
was
sitting
public
there.
classic
for a minute.
golf. Yeah, it still is. Like it was always public.
Oh,
but
it's still open?
I think you just went to shit.
Yeah.
Like it's not worth going out there anymore because you used to be able to stay at the Bluffs, like in the
Yeah.
lodges, and that's what we would do for like whenever I was in high school and college. Like we would do that as a family.
Yeah.
Like me, dad, and brother would go there, leave mom at the house, and we would go up there for a weekend and just
Just debauchery.
Great.
get in trouble. Yeah,
No, it's a great spot, man.
it was
I've never
awesome.
been.
And the
It's a
course was great.
spot. I mean, like they built that. It was very ahead of its time. I mean, like they have like condos out there that you can go rent that people own for a while, and then like for a minute, it was the best golf course in Louisiana.
Wow.
I mean, like
I would say with like the stay and play and like the for the price, and they have a great restaurant inside, like in the.
Oh, really? They have all that?
Mm-hmm.
And
They
now
did.
it's
I
just
don't.
sitting there like
Yeah, it's
nobody's
like-
using it? That's sad.
I don't know what they're going to turn it into, but
God, that is sad because it's a great piece of property.
because it
I mean,
doesn't look
it
like
is.
anything else in
It does
Louisiana.
not. I mean, like you're 45 minutes away from it, and it's got like drop hills.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've
I mean,
never
like,
seen it.
It's. I mean, it's.
Is that where
great.
you
I mean,
hike? Like
seriously
Tunica
though, like I mean,
Falls?
it's a sad story. Like to give you an idea of the elevation, like somebody they had to change the speed on the golf carts because going down one of the hills,
17.
somebody died.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
The drop from 17 to par 3 is like
How do you
probably.
do- how
I mean, they
they-
were like speeding down this thing, and I want to say that there was not a top
If there was no governor,
on the
the
deal, and
golf
he
course.
like either like stopped and like came
No.
on. Yeah, it was a bad deal, man. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
But the course elevation.
he almost made it too. Got to
is-
17.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Almost finished.
almost.
When did this happen?
long time ago.
Okay, so we can laugh a little.
Oh yeah, you always.
I wasn't
Depends on your
sure. Like
personality.
somebody in the
That's a-
chat is
that's a
like, that was
personal
my
choice.
brother.
That's a personal choice. I
That
mean,
was
that
my
tells a
brother.
lot about you. You know, I mean,
I know, but I didn't want to
mean,
like
some people laugh
super
at funerals.
offend anybody. Yeah, that's true.
This guy. I only go to the golf course to ride the golf carts. So,
Same.
or drive them.
drive.
Drive 'em.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is
Trying
the
to
this is 17.
spin that thing.
I mean, I don't
Wow.
mind hitting a couple of like shots. Like that's kind of where my golf relationship is. I have not committed yet to like the full 18 holes every single shot. Like I'm a pickup guy.
Oh yeah,
You know
but
what I mean? Just kind of like grab it,
never
I'm
played.
done. What's that?
Never played.
Golf?
they might be a little late.
Yeah.
For me.
Golf is tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
Why
It's
is
just
it
very.
late?
It takes a lot of patience.
Oh yeah, no.
You know, and
Well,
that's
I've
where
never
it gets
played.
me.
Yeah.
Like hole 6 or 7, I'm tapped out.
It seems super boring.
You know,
to
I
me.
mean, I'm like,
That you got all you wanted from the experience.
man, we got
Hit a couple
we
good
got
shots.
12 of these left.
Yeah. And see,
Jeez.
that's when I get excited. I'm
I'm gonna
like,
go
hell
to
yeah, I
Colorado.
get
Right,
told.
that's how you really know you love golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're at the golf course, that means there's no better place to be because you ain't got shit to do.
Yeah, I
Because
guess
if you vacated a whole day, that's how I am at least when I play golf. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be out here for 3 hours, you know. And some people are like, oh, I'm trying to play in an hour and a half. And it's like you're gonna go play golf and then go on with your day. If I'm playing golf, I'm playing golf that day.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm not trying to get back to work.
Right.
You know, like I'm gonna squeeze in from 1 to 3. I'm gonna go play. Then 3 to 5, I'm gonna go back to the office. And there's some people like that. And I'm like, I'm getting double tequila soda. Put me on the golf cart
And then you can play like that.
Oh, I'll play
you
better.
can play drunk.
Oh yeah. That's what golf is.
Sure.
I haven't played golf sober ever.
I
I
wonder
mean,
what
a
it
couple
would
of
be
puffs
like.
and I'm in. for
Exactly.
18,
Yeah.
Right?
And
Same.
that's the pickup. Like you can.
That's where I'm in.
I'm
at.
good.
Yeah. You
Just
don't
12 more.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I don't even have to hit.
Hell yeah.
I'll send the card. That's how I am. Like the
but
people that take it seriously are the people you got to watch out for. That's where it
Gosh,
gets
I
like.
can't
Yeah,
get
those
caught in a
people
group
scare
like
me.
that.
Yeah, like why are you talking while I'm shooting?
I mean,
bro,
like,
it's a bunch of friends out
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
We're all friends, right?
I mean, one day I ended up in a group with like David Lanois in them.
Oh, they're playing for money.
Big money.
Yeah, that's where you.
mean,
that's
like-
when you got to turn it on.
I mean, Lanois is,
A golfer.
I mean,
Good.
tough to find a better one in the city.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. You know what I mean? Like, I knew he was good. I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah, he's like
Right?
people like seek him out.
Yes. I mean, like, the ball
Really?
sounds different, like being hit.
Did he play like in college or anything?
I don't think he did.
No, I think he
But
just
like his
Just
reputation at the university club,
He's
when his
on-
name
he's on
comes
every
up,
wall.
I mean, people are like, "Whoa,
yeah. Everybody's chasing him.
yeah." And again, I had no idea. You know what I mean? Like,
This is just Didi.
I mean, it was like, "Yeah, bro, come out and play with us." I'm like, "Yeah, for sure, absolutely, man." I mean, like,
You have clubs? Yeah.
who's got the, you know, like everybody good on the
Situation.
medical marijuana? We good? We good? Yeah, all right. I mean, like, I get out there and they're like throwing around some numbers on the first. I'm like, David. I'm a 25 handicap, maybe. I don't even know. You know, he's like, all right, cool. He's like, I mean, like, you can just kind of play for on the side for fun. I mean, these guys tee off, and the sound of them like striking the ball. I mean,
Middle.
like, I was embarrassed to. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Watch y'all break
like,
me.
I mean, like, how the hell did I end up here?
That's a
And
tough
I mean,
spot
by
to
a
be
whole
in.
3, I was like, I'm driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just
like,
watching
you boys
y'all.
play.
Yeah.
I got a great front row seat to just
Good golf.
competitive golf. I'll be rolling these things up all day. The cart will be right here, and I'm just going to be, you know, clapping when needs to be clapped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Start doing a little. I'll
yeah,
handle
I
the
mean,
money.
I'll watch the money if y'all want me to.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a 3. But being in that spot whenever you're like not as good of a golfer as the people that you're playing with, because I've been there. My buddy played like a Corn Ferry Tour ish, and like we would go play practice rounds or whatever, and I'm okay. But then you talk about guys that are grinding to play golf, like everything's down the middle, everything's on the green, and they're 2-putting at a par and they're mad. And you're just like, I'm fighting for my life out here. And you're like,
Right, coach.
I'm good.
I'm
Like,
just okay. I hit this thing in the fairway.
yeah, I'm just trying not to be in the bunker and
I
hack
mean,
it out 6 times.
The fact that I hadn't lost a ball yet, I'm good.
The first tee after you see him hit, you're just like, oh god.
The sound. I mean, like, I was like, I'm so out of my league.
And the trajectory.
I'm so far. Like, I didn't even have golf shoes on.
You had like jeans and Jordan.
Anybody got a tee?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Ball?
they're like looking at David. They're like, who is this guy?
You'll like him. You'll like him. Give him to hole 3.
All right. So I know that there's a ton of people yelling at their computer right now, screaming that LSU had a baseball game last night.
Yeah. Or are they?
We know, and for the second week in a row, LSU has dropped a midweek game. They do it in pretty dramatic fashion last night as they're kind of walked off defensively on a wild double play ball, an incredible play by the Nichols defender. First off, to catch the ball out of the air, and then to tag up. Who was that? Nippolt?
Merrifield.
Merrifield, who was tagged up at second base for the third out of the game, and LSU falls last night 6-5 versus Nichols. Look, I'm not looking into these midweek games here and freaking out over LSU. I do, like last week, said that I have some concern about this injury bug, right, and where it's biting LSU, and hopefully LSU can overcome this, because you knew even when LSU was rolling at the beginning of the season, at some point they were going to be served up some adversity, right? Every good team is going to have to deal with some adversity. Every team is going to have to deal with adversity at some point, especially during a baseball season, because the year is just so long. And LSU has experienced that. Yesterday, the announcement came through. Chase Shore's done for the season. We are expected Garrett Edwards to have his surgery early or midweek here coming up. So he'll be out for the remainder of the year, obviously. And LSU's looking for some guys that need to step up within that bullpen and on that pitching staff. So, this is some adverse times for LSU, and they've still been able to handle the weekends. I think, sweeping on the road in conference compared to a home midweek game against a very good Nichols team. That team is solid, man, especially defensively. It's not cause for the melt, right? I mean, I think that there are questions that LSU still needs to have answered to make sure that they can, be the favorite to win the national title. But I think that this is without question a top 8 seed. This is without question one of the top teams in college baseball, and there is expectation to make a run at Omaha, and there should be expectation to win the national championship. But I still think that there's some things that they have to, they got to get figured out. And I think some things are trending in the right direction, like starting pitching, with Ty Floyd and Christian Little and the performance that they gave you over the weekend. But they still need some guys to step up from a bullpen, from a middle relief standpoint. So it was, I'm not going to freak out.
You're not melting.
No, I'm not.
Can we talk about this play with the ball in the dugout? Because I have questions and concerns over it. That
Mostly concerns.
David and I argued about this last night for a bit. So I know the rule. Well, now I know the rule. I didn't know the rule. I know the rule now that when the ball goes in the dugout, you can't advance, right? At all? Or can you advance one base?
You only get one base.
You get to advance one base.
So I need to see the play again. But wasn't somebody on third going home?
No.
It was
So it was second to third?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
on second. So once the
So-
ball bounds into the dugout,
So why, and the Nichols coach went out there too, I feel like, and argued it. I didn't hear what he said or anything, but why, with the ball, it to me looked like still in play. It's in infield, bouncing. So why do you have to stop? Why can't you advance? I understand if it went, it was hit and it went straight into the dugout, which I know would be weird, kind of. But
happens.
if it's still there bouncing and someone could have scooped it up, why is that still, why did they not let them advance? Why did they call that run back on that? Just because the rule's the rule?
yeah,
But why
you
are
have to
there
have
no
a
exceptions
hard
to
and
that?
fast line, and a hard and fast rule, because otherwise then you start manipulating the rule. If that situation, it happens more than you think it does, because it can be an
The
errant.
rule is manipulated?
No,
or-
that balls
Ball
in the
goes
dugout.
in the dugout.
Right.
Because it could be a throw, it could be any which way that the ball ends up there. This was just a bizarre way in which it got there, and
Yeah.
so because he couldn't find it.
Is that why
But-
Nichols' coach was arguing it?
No, he was arguing it because he thought that he was making the same argument you are. By the time the ball was in the dugout, he had already rounded third.
Right.
So if it doesn't go in the dugout, he's going to score. But because it went in the dugout, you're only allowed to advance one base. I would like to say that there is wiggle room where there's been situations where if you get that far past,
There has to be.
they award you that you were at third and they let you go home. But
So why didn't that happen last night?
because, you're at home, I'd imagine. And depends on what you're looking at. If he's looking at the ball and he sees him at third and he's like, no, you have to go back. You can't be allowed two bases.
But what did y'all think
essentially.
about it?
I was
Do you
confused.
not think that
I was
run should have
wondering what
gone
they
in?
were going to do.
Yeah.
But if you're an LSU fan, that's what you want to happen. If it happens to LSU, you're mad.
Right. But I still think it should have counted as a run for Nichols.
Ronnie was saying the same thing in the booth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it's a baseball rule.
But but
we can sit here all
the
day.
reason you have to, I guess, send him back to third is because there's no way for LSU to technically make a play on the ball because it's out of play. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing that they could do. It's an unfair advantage if you can't get to the ball.
Yeah.
Same thing if a ball gets stuck under the wall and you put your hands up. Mm-hmm. It's like an automatic double. You don't get to advance more than one base.
Real bummer for Nichols.
Well,
Like
it seemed
that
to
was-
work out.
They won the game. So.
Well, I know they did. I'm just saying, that was such the disappointment on their faces and, the anger.
Well, they should know. They know the rules.
I know they know the rules, but I questioned it, so I still think it was questionable.
It was questionable, but like I said, there's no way for LSU to, if you can't make a play on the ball, then it's a moot point because there's nothing that you can do to give. You can't play the game.
Yeah.
It's like Sandlot. Once it's over the fence, it's gone.
Forever.
Build a vacuum cleaner. Call it James Earl Jones.
I know that everybody in the chat is saying these are the rules. I know it's the rules, but I just feel like if other people were questioning it, then there had to be something questionable going on there. I watched it a couple of times and it just didn't make sense to me because
State
of when
won
the ball was.
yesterday, though.
What?
State won yesterday.
We won the Governor's Cup
Go Dak.
last night. Go die.
Go Dak.
Go
Ole
Dak.
Miss is just terrible. God, they're terrible.
Yeah, the championship
Ole Miss.
hangover.
Oh yeah, they're horrible.
I just love it.
Go Dak.
I just love it.
You love that y'all are terrible?
And I love that Ole
Both
Miss
of
is
them are.
terrible, Jordy.
Oh.
They lost to us last night.
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah,
A win's a win. A win against Mississippi State and Ole Miss is a win.
Wait,
it
did
doesn't
they get
matter
a
what it
conference
is.
win for winning that game?
No, that's not. It doesn't count.
All right.
That's
Really?
the Governor's Cup. It's just a huge
So
game.
it ain't got any conference
No,
game?
it's the Governor's Cup. It's played in Jackson every year at Trustmark Park. It's just a big rivalry game. We've done it forever.
Go Dak.
So
Dak has nothing to do with it, damn it.
He was probably there.
He was not. He's not
Go
in
Dak.
Jackson.
So it doesn't count for anything?
Nah, it's just
It's
just
not
game.
a conference game. It doesn't count as a
It's
conference
like a
game.
midweek
No.
game against a conference.
Y'all
team.
don't know because y'all don't have an in-state SEC rival. You
Go
wouldn't
Dak.
understand.
Yeah, but I mean, like
I
Auburn,
figured it would count.
Alabama.
I figured it would count for
I
something.
don't know that they don't do something like that. Do you know that they don't play a baseball game like that? Like
So
a
you're
mid-
telling me it doesn't-
I'm sure that they don't. I'm saying that, but I'm sure they play a weekend series.
They
like
do.
Ole Miss
Bowl.
and Mississippi State play a weekend series.
Yeah, we just beat them in the weekend series 2 weekends ago.
Governor's Cup.
This is just an entirely different thing. Get over it. We
I mean,
won
I'm
it.
over it. I mean, just
But
y'all are weird,
I was never
Mississippi.
in it.
what if this was a football game and you just called it the Governor's?
not.
I know, but
Or
I'm
you could
just
just call it
saying.
the Egg Bowl.
Yeah.
The Egg
Does
Bowl
that
used to be
count?
played in Jackson.
Does that count? Like it seems like this game would count against your record.
It doesn't. I don't know what else to tell you. It doesn't. It's
rules are the
Governor's
rules,
Cup.
Katie.
I mean, yeah, shit. The rules are the rules. Damn it! The ball in the dugout. It's black
There
and
you
white.
go.
Oh, look, you do get a cup. You get a nice little crystal cup.
So it's like an actual.
Congratulations.
So it's like an actual
Yes, it's
cup.
a real trophy.
It's like, yeah,
Wow.
I mean, geez.
fill it full of beer.
Maybe they'll paint it on the outfield wall.
Maybe so.
They
2023.
Make cups about it.
I'm aware Mississippi State is terrible. Also, Christian Crochet. No one said that. Just like yesterday when I said all the rednecks were sad about Morgan Wallen and Oxford, there are also rednecks in Starkville. No one's arguing this.
That we're sad about Morgan Wallen, probably also.
Probably also sad. I know for a fact they were because they drove over to Oxford to see him play.
I had to go to that shit town. There's
Oxford.
Morgan Wallen. He wasn't even there.
Exactly.
He's
Morgan
great.
Wallen's not welcome in my town anymore.
Can't come around here.
I bet he's probably still there.
We don't take kindly to your
You
type.
Morgan Wallen. Tried to get you. That's strike number 2 there, boy.
This town ain't big enough for the two of us.
I know State is horrible, everybody in the chat. No one's saying that we're not. Jesus. But we're beating Ole Miss. That's all that matters. when you're
2023 Governor's
terrible.
Cup champs.
2021 national
Wait,
champs.
4-0 against
Right?
Ole Miss. 4-0.
Yes.
Wow.
No.
3-1.
3-1.
Mm.
Yeah.
No,
That's a
sweet.
win.
That's a win though.
Did y'all lose to him in football?
No. We won the Egg Bowl this year. Lloyd.
Wow.
Right at the end, right?
Wow. They got that
Anyway.
number. Basketball too.
I don't remember. Did we
Damn.
beat them in basketball?
I
Probably.
don't know, probably so. They fired their coach.
Yeah, they were
mean, so-
extra terrible this year. Yeah, we did because we were actually good. They were terrible.
Wow. It's my Owen Wilson.
What?
Owen Wilson.
What about it? What does he have to do with this? All right, fine. I won't say anything else about Mississippi State and Ole Miss. So,
We're going to talk to Jacques coming up here at 8:30 this morning. We were going to talk to Shay on Wednesdays. Shay is coming through on Friday this week. We're doing Shay's recruiting segment on Friday.
What's it
He's going
called?
to be here at 8:15.
shut up, Lloyd.
Speaking of recruiting, we did talk a little bit about it yesterday with Billy Embody, and one of the stories that is featured right now on 3 is Keelan Moses and his visit to Baton Rouge, or I say to LSU this weekend. He lives in Baton Rouge, obviously going to U-High. And some of the quotes that Keelan Moses gave on 3 really looks good for LSU. Well, yeah, his brother did the same thing. Yeah, I think they learned a lot from his brother. And I really believe that LSU sits in the driver's seat for Keelan Moses. And when you talk about what Brian Kelly is building as far as a program goes and, you know, built on graduating champions, right? I mean, that's kind of the sales pitch that Brian Kelly is selling inside the living room. He's selling on the recruiting trail. He's selling on weekends like last weekend when he's got, you know, a ton of elite talent on campus inside of his facility. Is, you know, he's telling them that he's going to graduate champions. You're going to focus on academics. There's going to be a spotlight put on football and developing you both, you know, as a player and as a human being. And putting you out into the real world. And I think a guy like Keelan Moses, having a chance to get to know him just a little bit. He came through here. We had a chance to interview him, and, it's fantastic. His mom and his brother Emmanuel were in here one
Mosai
morning.
brothers.
The rise of the Mosai.
The Mosai brothers.
The Mosais.
But a great family and a great kid and a great young man and somebody that really is not as, and I don't mean this by any disrespect to Dylan Moses, because if you were around during that time, or if you were covering recruiting, or remember just Dylan Moses's recruitment, it was wild, man. I don't think anybody could really realize how crazy it was going to get. But I mean, this kid was on the cover of one of the biggest magazines in the world, in ESPN the magazine, as an 8th grader. And from there, he was picking up college football scholarship offers from the who's who of the sport: LSU, Alabama, Texas A&M, Georgia, Tennessee. I mean, Florida State. They were coming in by the boatloads before he had even played a high school game. And I was lucky enough to call every snap that Dylan Moses took at U-High on the radio, where he stayed and played there for 4 years. He played as an 8th grader, and he left before his senior year to go to IMG Academy, which, by the way, did you see that IMG Academy sold for $1 billion?
That's
To what? To
wild.
what?
To
Who
who?
bought it?
Like a management, like a
Another IMG.
Exactly.
They're just power brokers
Right.
for 16-year-old kids.
But what an investment! Like
Yeah.
what
What an investment.
a business plan.
That's where you got.
I
I
mean,
mean, Lil J, get him on the baseball team.
$1.25 billion.
Is it-
$1 billion.
It's in Bradenton, Florida.
Bradenton, Florida.
It's
But Dylan Moses
gorgeous.
went there his senior year, right?
They're joining a
Dylan
network
Moses
of
was the
boarding
starting
schools.
linebacker there his senior year, and Dylan Moses, his recruitment to LSU, I think looking back on it, LSU would have done some things different. And the beautiful thing about it is that the person that was leading the charge during that recruitment is back on campus, Frank Wilson. And I don't think it's coincidence that when Frank Wilson took the Texas San Antonio job, that Moses' recruitment really took a veer. It really kind of it took a turn. And, Nick Saban did what Nick Saban does. He saw a chance and an opportunity to make a run at a really good player and came in and got him. But the thing about the Moseses is that they've seen the pitch. They know the play. They know that Alabama can turn their son into a Butkus Award finalist and a centerpiece to a nationally recognized defense. They also know that if he goes to Alabama and he blows both of his knees out and he doesn't have a chance to go to the NFL and he moves back to Baton Rouge, it would have really served him better if he didn't have his legs with an LSU diploma rather than an Alabama diploma. That it'd be much easier to settle down and live life and start a life with LSU football behind your name rather than Alabama football behind your name. Because during those recruitments, you think, I'm going to play in the league for a decade. I'm going to the NFL. And when Dylan Moses was at U-High and at IMG Academy, he should have thought he was going to the NFL when he was running around on 2 fresh legs and he had, a body like Adonis and had speeds and vertical jumps that were NFL worthy. And he gets to Alabama and is everything that the hype says he is. Starts as a freshman, as a sophomore. He's probably the best linebacker in college football. He's a Butkus Award finalist, and then a knee injury later there, another knee injury the next season, and by the time he plays his 5th year as a senior, he's playing on a leg that doesn't even have an ACL. He gets to the NFL Combine, they open him up, run some tests, and they're like, bro,
What happened to you?
you don't have ligaments in your leg. And Dylan Moses just says, yeah, I was giving it to Bama. I was giving my body to the program. I was trying to win a championship. I was told that was what I was supposed to do. And he's a warrior. And he did it. And now he got a couple of shots in the NFL, but his legs are just broken. And trying to set up life here. He'll be successful. He's a bright, great, dude. And, he'll have every opportunity to be successful. But a lot of those recruiting pitches come down to, hey, look, this is not a 4-year decision. This is a 40-year decision. And it's tough to think about those post 4 or 5 years that you spend on campus and however long you make it in the league. Right? I mean, how many of us would have bet Dylan Moses' junior year at U-High that he would have played 5 years minimum in the NFL? Mm-hmm. Right? I know I would have. I had a front row seat. I watched every carry, watched every tackle, watched every play. That's a pro. You knew right away. I mean, that kid's going to play in the league. But then a couple of knee injuries later at Alabama and, a few surgeries, and the NFL says, we can find somebody more healthy. And the next thing you know, you're out of football. And your post-football life is starting at 22 rather than 32 or 28, right? And I think there's a lot of lessons that Keelan Moses looks at and says, man, I wonder how this would have worked out if Dylan would have went to LSU. I wonder if there would have been a booster that would have said, hey, man, your start is not going to be as tough as it needs to be. Come be my assistant for the next 3 years and make a couple $100,000 a year, and let me show you how to run a company. Because I took care of you at U-High and you went to LSU. Look what Gordon McKernan did to stop Kayshon Boutte from going to Alabama. I mean, at the end of the day, it just came down to somebody loving Louisiana, LSU, and playing defense against recruiting. If Kayshon goes and flops in the league, he can still come back here, pick up the phone, and call Gordon McKernan and get a job. May not be popular. May not be something that he wants to do. But if he falls on real hard times and he's got to get a job, he stayed at LSU. He went to LSU. He produced for LSU. That'll go a long way in discussions about getting him on his feet post-NFL, post-football, if he needs it. And those are some of the discussions that are happening in recruitment that are tough to realize, right? Like when you're sitting across the table from a college football coach and you're 17, 18 with a fresh, healthy body and have never been hurt, and I am the superstar every game. Dylan Moses went over to IMG. Nothing changed. He was still the best defensive player on the field. He was still making every tackle. He was still a superstar. Keelan Moses is the same way. You could drop Keelan Moses on any team, at any level, in any state, at any high school, and he's going to be a standout. Same thing's going to happen to him in college. Wherever he goes, he's going to be a star. The relationship he has with LSU right now could not be any better. It could not be any stronger. There could not be any one player that is realizing the Brian Kelly process and what he's trying to develop a football player into more than Keelan Moses. There's not a better fit of a Brian Kelly-led LSU program in recruiting, in my opinion, than Keelan Moses. after having a chance to talk to Moses for a minute, keeping in contact with him, knowing his coaches, knowing the work that he does both in the classroom, off the field, in the weight room, and on the field, Keelan Moses is exactly what Brian Kelly is looking for. Now, I'm not trying to tell you that he's looking for this, 6'4" Terminator-looking freakish football player. Obviously, he is doing that, right? I mean, like, anywhere Keelan Moses exists, LSU is interested in that type of talent. But once you talk to him, once you realize that he's got a 5-year plan, he's got goals, he's got things that he wants to accomplish away from football. Remember the kid telling us that he was a poet?
Yeah.
That he was writing poetry?
Cool, yeah.
I mean, like, kid don't look like a poet when he walks into the room.
No.
Right? I mean, sit down and talk to him for 20 seconds and you realize, wouldn't surprise me if this kid's a poet. I mean, it's a lot deeper than football, and he's probably the best player in the state right now as a junior. And I think that just kind of getting some feedback of the weekend, as Jordan, my son, and I are walking into the spring game. Like, we're walking down South Stadium Drive, we're walking down Victory Hill, and we're coming around the corner there where Mike's cage is on the right of us, and we're turning into the stadium. Keelan Moses and his girlfriend are walking into the recruiting entrance, which is right, kind of along that pathway right there. Keelan Moses is wearing an LSU jumpsuit, gray, top to bottom, zipped up to the top with an LSU flat bill hat on, holding his girl's hand. His girl's got an LSU 7 jersey on. They're walking in, and Jordan, who thinks Keelan Moses is just, a god, is like, there's Keelan. And as like 3 minutes before that, he's asking me where Keelan Moses is going to school. Where's Keelan going to go? What's he going to do? Where is he going to Alabama? I said, dude, I really think that he's going to LSU. I mean, from everybody that I've talked to, I think that LSU sits in a great position. Yeah, but what, his brother going to LSU when he was a junior? Yeah, he was. But I think he's learned a lot from his brother. And like 2 minutes later, we turn the corner, and Keelan is decked out in LSU gear from head to toe, walking into the LSU spring game. Oh, by the way, on the same day of Alabama's A-Day, which is their big recruiting day. They put a lot to try and get Moses on campus on Saturday, I promise you. And look where he was. That's his choice. It's where he wants to be. And oh, by the way, his girlfriend loves LSU too. Mm-hmm. That's a huge advantage for LSU. Because you can make the pitch and you can tell him where he's going to play. You can show him the facility. You can show him the academics. You can show him all of the gear. You can show him everything of the perks of being a college football player. But there's one thing that stands out, that if you've got that in your corner, you're sitting in a good spot. And if the girlfriend loves LSU and she's actually a student there, that'll be tough to beat. Remember, that's how Will Wade got Nas Reed to LSU. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show right after this. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done. Corrects done. Personal injury done. Workers' comp done. Truck wrecks done. Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done.
In 1975, Mike Anderson left the gridiron for the grill, opening a po' boy shop near LSU. If you're from Louisiana, odds are you've tasted a dish, experienced the tradition of Mike Anderson's seafood. 48 years later, the tradition of Mike Anderson's lives on with the next generation.
I'm very thankful.
He's never allowed okay to be okay. It's a driving force for me to just want to keep it as good as he made it.
Mike Anderson Seafood and WAFB, celebrating the community. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show. As always, built by our friends over at RMB Builders. Shout out to all of you out there as we just got over the hump of 14,000 subscribers on YouTube. We appreciate that. Make sure and continue to hit that like button, share button, comment button. If you have not subscribed, make sure and hit that subscription. We're going to talk to Jacques coming up here in the second hour. If you've got mailbag questions, you can text them in. You can
call us.
Type them in to the chat if you want to ask a question. You can tweet them in, as we said, and as always, you can text them in. Remember, 225-953-7714.
What the fuck? What number
Jordy,
is that?
No, Jordy, no.
225-229. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what. Wait.
Jordy, what was that? I'm scared.
That didn't scare me. I was like,
I'm scared. Whose number is that?
953-7714.
Stop saying it because you don't know who that
I don't
is.
think you know who that is.
Oh
It's the
my
Russian.
God.
guarantee?
It might be.
Yeah, that was your own sales number.
It might be. It might be the old text line.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
deep in your brain.
That
Was
is
It really
a-
was.
That
You
was
just came
Hell of a
out.
recall.
That was autopilot.
It's a quarterback recall.
Man, where are you?
He looked like he was in a trance
Yeah,
too.
you did. It just came flowing right out
It
of you.
did.
And I was typing the number into the chat. And
I
heard
was
him
saying,
say
I was about
that.
to say it in my head, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, am I? Is it me?
What's in that pen over there?
What number is it?
229-7741. Y'all call
No,
us.
what number did you
Let's
say?
talk.
953-7741.
No,
No, you didn't say that, because that's our
That's
number.
our number. You put a
Oh, 7714.
No.
I don't think that's what you said.
Okay, now y'all are screwing
He
me
did
up.
put
I
some
don't know.
sevens in there.
Yeah, it was sevens. There were sevens.
And it was some ones, but I
There
Because
was
that
a
was
4 in there.
initially
It's a lot.
kind of got me.
That was bizarre. He was just staring straight ahead, and it was like
You
9,
were.
5, 3, 1, 4, 2, 0.
Yeah.
It was like
That was wild.
Can we land the plane or not?
225-229-7741.
Yeah,
Call
y'all
us.
call us. Tell us about your bunny ranch experience.
Yes.
Jesus.
That was a good one.
That was the all-timer.
I know. I'm glad we heard that story. I've never known anybody who's really been there.
I know, me too.
It's still open.
It is? Even though the guy died?
Yeah.
So who took it
It's,
over?
I
Family
would-
business.
Yeah, maybe the the woman was really running the show.
Yeah.
The one that was in the corner office.
Yeah, you got to carry
yeah,
on the legacy,
the-
right?
And with
The
all the
business
paperwork in
person.
there, you're like, this has
right.
got to be a disaster. I don't know how these taxes are adding
Oh
up.
my
This
God.
paper is sticky.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, my man was there for 16 hours. He's like, I mean, took care of my business. Like, sounds like you did.
Took care of a
The
lot of
drinks are
business.
free.
16 hours.
I mean, that's he didn't stay the
That's
night.
expensive, right?
That's
To be
when
in
you
there for
wake up
16
and it's
hours?
like light outside. It's like, damn.
I don't think he went to sleep, Coach.
What have I been doing?
Do they even have windows in there?
I don't.
I think the windows are blacked out.
Yeah,
Have to be, right?
Damn.
I don't know. Maybe there's people that want like the window open.
I
thought
mean,
it
you're
was
in the
like
middle of
Be
the
Christmas.
peeping
desert. Like,
in.
you are literally in the
the
middle of the
desert.
desert. So, I mean, I can imagine that windows are probably they're probably not. They're probably not too
Don't
many
need-
of
yeah,
them.
Yeah.
don't need them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make the house hot,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hotter.
hotter.
I know. I wonder what it smells like in there. Baby powder.
Rank.
Ugh.
Bad.
Like strippers, kind of.
Probably like a locker room.
Yeah. Oh God.
Ew.
I hope it doesn't smell like the
That's
locker
not
room.
sexy.
Because our
No,
locker
it's
room
not.
smell
But
like
I mean,
ass.
neither is a whorehouse.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean, like,
I think it smells nice in there. We should have
do?
asked him.
We should have.
I mean, I'm sure there's certain rooms that smell like sex,
Yeah.
and I'm sure like the outer area probably smells like a.
the outer banks of a locker room.
I would
You know
say-
what
I would-
Like,
I would say
even
like
a
a strip
clean locker
club.
room doesn't smell.
Good.
Yeah, there's still that smell.
There's still a
You
little.
Still
There's
smell
still a
it.
little stench of.
Sweat.
You know what I mean? There's some bo that lives in here.
Yes.
Somebody comes in here stinky a little bit.
Right.
Like every
And
day.
I mean, if we're talking about a dorm room full of hookers,
Yeah.
Jeez.
and I'm paying to come in and have sex,
Yeah, it's gonna smell.
I mean, it's a
There's
locker
gonna be a
room.
smell.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
essentially, I mean,
Yeah.
this is nothing but a locker room.
Right.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, I'm sure it does smell.
Got a text message.
All right.
Don't know who this is, though.
Is it about the bunny ranch?
This is not about the Bunny Ranch. This is about Shay.
Okay.
Friday.
So the Power Hour is happening Friday.
That's Hunter
with
Fournette.
Shay the Power Dixon.
Stop it,
yeah.
Hunter.
Question mark.
I know that's you.
Is he gonna do a standalone, or is he just joining the
No, we're
show?
gonna start it with a segment.
Okay. The tease. It's like a soft opening for a restaurant.
Absolutely.
He's busy, huh?
Yeah, he's got
They're
a lot
real
of stuff
busy.
going on.
I mean, recruiting's like
Non-stop.
Yeah.
Full swing. Full swing.
Hell yes. Glad to have Shay Diesel back.
And we'll find out some transfer portal news.
But
as
Friday is a tough day for him because
well. I told him give me his best day.
Yeah, Superior Thursdays are. That's usually when he saunters over and then he wakes up late on Friday. So I know Shay.
Oh, you giving Jordy a warning, right?
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. Shay's a little bit like me in that regard, to where I'll say yes, but if something comes up before, I'm just letting you know, letting you down easy.
Did we see this? Did you see Tyler Buckner is transferring from Notre Dame? This is a
Reese's
quarterback. Yes.
Wait,
I mean,
was
he's,
that the one he was on the phone with, like, telling him to do your fucking job?
Yep.
Damn.
he's not going to Alabama, is he?
That's the only connection. They don't have a quarterback. They feel like they don't have a quarterback.
How does Alabama not have a
Nick
quarterback?
Saban put it out
Yeah,
into
right.
the ether? He's like, we're
Yeah, but
looking-
how does Alabama not have a quarterback?
Coach, I don't know.
I
It
mean,
is wild.
didn't they recruit? They have Ty Simpson, who Walker Howard and Ty Simpson coming out in the same recruiting cycle. After Quinn Ewers graduated early and went to Ohio State, Simpson and Walker Howard were routinely argued as who was the top quarterback in the cycle, right? Some people had Simpson, some people had Howard. And then Jalen Milroe is a guy that nobody else has in college football. Like, nobody else has a guy like Milroe. Even if Milroe doesn't win the starting quarterback job, after what I saw in the spring game on Saturday, there has to be a package of 16, 17 plays a game for him that you just throw him out there and let him run. I mean, just snap it to him and let him run draw. I mean, or let him fake a draw and let him throw it one time or two. The fact that he's not ready to play, right, in my opinion, is that's kind of damning on Alabama's coaching. That kid's a freak. I mean, he's a talent. You know, and I hear them, well, he's got to learn how to protect the ball. Okay, I mean, I get that. But, I mean, that you're still out there shopping quarterbacks and you're Alabama with the amount of talent that you have on the roster. And, look, I know that guys like Saban and Smart, they're just talent collectors. They can't have enough of it at any spot. I mean, look at what Kirby Smart's got at quarterback. I mean, he's got a couple of 5-stars. I mean, he's got a couple of guys that are deciding the same thing. To me, this discussion of Alabama not having a quarterback it's crazy. It's nuts. I mean, like, what do we mean? I mean, they've got a couple of guys on the roster, and if I am Tyler Buckner, first off, what are we selling Buckner as, right? Because I watched Notre Dame football last year, and, I mean, they didn't have a quarterback in sight. Jeez. And Tommy Rees was the coordinator. He's calling plays for Buckner. So, I mean, if you're trying to sell me that the fact that Tommy Rees was hired as the offensive coordinator at Alabama and that Tyler Buckner is going to save them, like, I feel a lot better about LSU today.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel a lot better about LSU. Now, if Alabama just wants him to stack another player and have another option, well, then that's just kind of Alabama being Alabama. I get that. But if they're selling this kid like, yo, T,
the future,
we need you. Like, you're going to start the opener. I can't believe that. I really can't. I can't believe that Tyler Buckner is better than Jalen Milroe and or Ty Simpson. I mean, it just.
Ooh, getting a call.
It is. It's tough for me to believe.
That's a tough look for if you're an Alabama fan.
I mean, Alabama's supposed to be good this season.
But they.
Hold on, Hunter.
Oh, I was just going to say they put all of their eggs in the young basket. Now he's gone, and it seems like they didn't develop anybody behind him.
He's going to get drafted tomorrow.
That's true.
They did.
Jalen Moreau, 19 of 37 for 245. Ty Simpson, 12 of 26 for 155 in the spring game.
I'm a little. Ooh, yeesh.
That's like old school Les Miles numbers.
That's what Bojack said in the chat. He's like, don't worry about Alabama. LSU did this for 15 years without a quarterback. It's true. You can, and like Jalen Moreau, you saw what he can do if it comes down to it. They'll be able to cater an offense around him and play good defense.
Yeah, but Bama should be nervous because they have a lot of freshmen like on the defensive side.
Here's the deal.
They lost a lot.
If they're counting on Tyler Buckner,
that's all you need to know.
Roll Tide, baby.
We'll take him.
Roll Tide. I mean, like.
Shout out to Nikki.
Absolutely. All right. I mean, if that's how you feel about your quarterback, LSU might have the best quarterback room in the country. Maybe outside of Texas.
Texas.
I mean, LSU is in the argument. They're in the discussion.
Yeah, for sure.
Of having Ole Miss.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
Ole Miss is up there.
They had 3 starters.
Well,
You are dumb. Is there a caller waiting?
yeah.
Okay, let's get
Oh,
to
she
it.
hates talking about Ole Miss. Hello,
Governor's
Hunter.
Cup.
Ooh, it sounds pretty
Does
over
sound
Wow, the
pretty.
birds
Wow.
are
Hunter
chirping.
Hall. I
Birds
knew
are
it was going to
chirping.
be you
Chirping.
weighing in on this
there. Where are you?
QB
Outside of
discussion.
Saban's office?
Wow. I feel like I'm being personally attacked here. Wow.
I was going to say, Hunter Hall, you need to call in
Him
and
and
weigh
Saban
in.
are smoking a cigarette right now.
You
Y'all
looking for
are burning
quarterbacks
right
out
now.
there?
Giving Saban a
After
jump
this
start.
After this spring, I think we need something a little bit stronger than a cigarette.
Hunter, what's the deal? I mean, am I wrong here? Are y'all in the Tyler Buckner?
Camp?
I mean, you've heard Tyler Van Dyke from Miami, where Seal was last year, and then you have obviously this news this week. What quarterback can you get there to transfer to your school? It's bad. I went down there 2 weeks ago, and it's an intermediate.
Are you like
throw.
power
you
walking
crying?
right now?
He's like crying.
It's a cold morning here in Alabama.
Something's in his
Cold
eye.
day in hell.
Just realizing y'all don't have a quarterback, huh?
What?
You're not crying, bro. What are you talking about?
You're crying, not me. No.
Another basketball player arrested? Just a regular weekend in T-Town, baby.
Didn't make it. Hey, he didn't make it on campus, so I think we're going to take a pause on guns.
Can't claim it.
Yeah, can't claim it. Right.
We're going to pause a minute or two on guns before we do that again. So good on Nate, right?
Right. That's right.
You got to draw the line somewhere.
Nate with morals.
But yeah, as far as that quarterback goes, it's the those intermediate throws that Ty and Simpson, Simpson and not even worth remembering his name. Nate.
Butchering the man's name.
Man.
So it's bad.
Jump in the porter, Jalen. Come on over to Baton Rouge.
Well, I mean, how many quarterbacks do y'all need?
That's true.
We don't need a quarterback. We'll
don't
take
need
him.
one.
We'll take him as a playmaker.
Yeah, put him in the slot.
Yeah,
LSU loves their
that's a
quarterback
fact.
room.
Hey, what about baseball this weekend?
LSU, Alabama.
Ooh, is it
You
here?
coming down?
It's here. It's here.
I'm not. Hanging around town. I think LSU beach volleyball is in Huntsville this weekend. Though.
Okay. Tigers are good.
Cool.
That's what I hear.
Brett
You guys
Barber
got to come to Hoover for the SEC tournament. I think I'm going to run down there and at least try to check out Skeens when he pitches one game.
Worth the price of admission.
Sounds like you're running right now.
It really does. You're power walking. Don't lie.
What is going on, dude? What is going
Trying to
on?
do exercise.
What is going on?
Everybody in the chat saying your birds are fake for some reason. So what are you playing at, Hunter?
I can't hear that. Hey, I want to say one thing. It's kind of weird when shows collide and guy from Alabama, but my rehearsal dinner for my wedding a few years ago, Mike Anderson's.
Nice. Small world.
So that was
You married a Baton Rouge girl.
That was a pretty good piece on that. I enjoyed that.
You married a Baton Rouge girl?
Yep.
So you had it at Mike Anderson's?
Yep.
Side porch?
Which one?
The one on Lee.
Yeah.
Aw.
Did they put you on the board? Like the score predictor?
I think they knew that the Tide don't lose in Baton Rouge. they withheld.
Have a good day, bro. Good to hear from you.
All right. Y'all have a good
Bye,
one.
Check
Hunter.
your history, you bum.
It sounded like such a pleasant day. I think
really
he was just
did.
going for like a casual stroll.
Look, Cordell says the weather sucks there, so we're fooled by the birds. Hunter
If he
Fournette
was
said
just,
those
like,
are
maybe-
fake birds.
Maybe watching the Masters
Clearing
again.
his throat, clearing his nose.
A little cigarette
He's
outside.
out there. He's out there exercising.
Something was going on over there.
Good for him.
All right, appreciate Hunter for getting involved here. If you got a text, if you got anything from,
got a bunch of texts there.
All right, let's go.
Aw,
Roll them
get
off.
them rolling.
Let's go, Stewie. Use that degree.
Yeah. Hey.
I don't know who this is. No name. Any chance Matt McMahon can get Sean Phillips out of the portal and return for a sophomore season? He really flashed in the SEC and could provide much needed rim protection.
Breaking news: Sean Phillips pledged to Arizona State and committed
Making moves.
to Arizona State. Yeah, they did, man. Who's that? Bobby Hurley over there, right? He's the head coach.
He got
He got Ace Miller.
he got Wolf.
Yeah.
Ace.
Got the Wolf.
No, Sean Phillips is gone. That's a big loss for LSU. We said, look, you wanted to keep Tyrell Ward, you wanted to keep Jalen Reed, you wanted to keep Sean Phillips. Those were three freshmen that you could kind of cornerstone, build the program around. You got a couple of local kids coming back, and Jordan Wright, Carlos Stewart, and obviously coming back in. Why can't I remember the point guard from Jalen Cook from Tulane. That is coming back.
So you just had him on the show
as well. But Sean Phillips is a big loss. What else we got, Stewie?
Cordell. Imagine if Dylan Moses lined up next to Devin White if he came to LSU.
We said that in the
That's what
break.
Del said on the
Yeah.
break.
Said that break. I mean, look. Was that Patrick Queen? No, that wouldn't have been Patrick Queen and Devin White. Who
It
was
was.
it? Was it?
Patrick Queen got to play a little bit with Devin White.
Who was the 2018? Was it Patrick Queen?
No, because remember Patrick Queen wanted to hop in the portal because he wasn't playing behind Devin White.
Who was the?
Well, I mean, the portal didn't exist then. Did
No, that you said he wanted to transfer.
It? Yeah.
Devin White, Patrick Queen. I'm just looking at the
Was it
roster.
Micah Baskerville?
Yeah, what is Baskerville?
It might have been Micah Baskerville.
Remember Ray Thornton?
Ray Thornton.
But he was.
They
an
moved him
edge.
to the outside.
Yeah. He was
Tyler
really-
Taylor, remember him?
Tyler Taylor.
Jacob
it was
Phillips.
Jacob Phillips.
Jacob Phillips.
That was the other linebacker.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Coach, those were two good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that obviously I would have loved to have seen Dylan Moses and Devin White playing next to one another.
You got two mics.
I mean, that's.
And they both can run.
I mean, they were both running backs.
I wonder if Dylan's career would have gone differently if he would have stayed. Obviously he plays defense for a reason. Like that's the money move. But did he get too big to play running back like both of them almost?
I mean, it's like Keelan.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder what they're going to do ultimately with Keelan because with the ball in his hand, I mean,
that's how Dylan was though.
But he's not done growing.
No, but he's different than Dylan.
Yeah.
He
little brother syndrome.
He is. He's bigger than Dylan, and he runs more violently than Dylan did. I mean,
I've seen the tape.
I
wouldn't put my kid out there.
I mean, I hate to be a prisoner of the moment because I remember seeing Dylan Moses as a junior thinking,
ain't any better.
Man. I mean, the way that he could get sideline to sideline and he was as good of a tackler as I have ever seen. I want to say that he held the overall tackle record at University High that Jaden Alsbury just broke.
He might have one in the state too. Like
he could.
Game.
He could. Now remember, he didn't play his senior year. He went to to IMG Academy, but I mean, he was a tackling machine. If he got his hands on you, you were going to the ground. The way that he was able to get off of blocks, the way he was able to run. I mean, he was just a fantastic football player. You know what I mean? He was just a really, really solid, good football player. Keelan Moses he's a freak athlete.
I think Keelan might be better.
I think he is
That's
too.
what I was asking.
He plays with his hand in the dirt sometimes too.
I mean, the skill level's not different. Like they both have the same skill. Keelan's just built different. I think it's just the way that he's physically put together that he's different than his brother. And his brother was great.
The Mosai.
Michael Divinity.
Yeah, he was out there.
Sweet Michael Divinity. Love him. I do.
Sell you a car.
He doesn't work there anymore.
He sold you a car?
No. He used to work at Go Chevy. He's sweet.
I think he's in the XFL, right?
He might be.
No. Is he?
Is he? I think he is.
I didn't realize that. Let's confirm this.
Got another message though.
Okay, what is it?
Jordy, did Q play in the spring game? Physically, he looks like a dog, but has he been able to put it all together to see some real time on the field this season? Brian from Vidalia.
Vidalia. You're from Louisiana. Come on.
I don't know these places.
Quincy made.
Did you see the highlight tape they just put out of him?
Yes, and there was a play in the spring game that not a lot of people are talking about. That was in the north end zone, and Jaden Daniels was flushed out of the pocket, and Quincy in a game situation chases him down and makes the play. Now, that was really kind of the only flash that you saw on Saturday. But in speaking to Jamar Kane and talking to, some people around Quincy, they really love where he is. I mean, it's a great fit for Quincy because of who's in front of him. They've got a lot of depth. They've got some really smart football players in front of him. You know, when you're talking about guys like Mekhi Wingo, Mason Smith, and they have talked even a lot about Ogofu, who has transferred over from Texas and played for Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. Just kind of the mental impact that he's had on the locker room. I know that was really kind of one of the attractive points for Brian Kelly to Ovi when he jumped in the portal. But if you saw him play on Saturday, he's a good player, man. I mean, he's going to give LSU some really good reps, and he's been a good mentor for Quincy. And I expect Quincy to be, look, I don't expect him to be a superstar this season. I just think that his development and where he is got him lined up. A lot like Savion Smith that we talked about. I mean, Savion Smith, I know that I always had this listener because when Savion Smith was signed, I remember at the time when Savion was signed, Mickey Joseph told me, he said, Coach, Savion Smith is going to be
Savion Jones.
Savion Jones. Why don't I always do that?
That was 3 in a row. I was going to give you a chance to write,
I always do that. Well, I committed.
225-934.
Well, I'm cutting that number and calling it.
I know, you've got to.
Right his wrongs.
You know somebody else
Savion Jones.
Michael Divinity plays in the CFL.
CFL, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Just
that.
added to the main
I
roster.
didn't know that.
Me either.
But Savion Jones, thank you, Lloyd. Golly, so disrespectful.
Well, it's not your fault. Savion Smith was at one time going to come to LSU also.
No, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stay.
Bama.
But Savion Jones out of St. James has been a guy that's always been looked at as someone who was going to be a breakout star at LSU. It was just a matter of time, right? I mean, it was somebody that they looked at and said, he's a bit of a project from a physical standpoint. I mean, I remember Mickey Joseph saying, Coach, it's going to be a totally different world for him just to start eating 3 square meals a day in the nutrition center. Like for him to get up and have a full protein of a breakfast, lunch, and dinner is going to do a kid that's 18 years old and looks like that. He's going to look totally different in 6 months just by feeding him correctly, right? And, you know, teaching him how to play. At that point, he was really just kind of very raw. And now when you talk to, I mean, everybody around LSU, who's going to be a breakout player this year? Savion Jones. Savion Jones. I mean, like every single person you talk to thinks that Savion Jones is about to bust out. Quincy's that same type of story for me, where you look at him and you're like, when is this guy going to be a superstar? And it's like, just in a matter of time. I mean, it's not if, it's when. And I'm sure everybody's, you know, patience level is a little different compared to, you know, everyone, you know, different people, but he's coming along and he'll pop a little bit this year. You know, he'll flash, you'll see some things. And then at the right time, whether it's next year or even 2 years from now, he is going to be a menace on defense because of, you know, what he's learning. A lot of the stuff we talked about with Harold Perkins, or what Matt House told us what his intent with Harold Perkins was this offseason, teach him how to be a football player. You know, teach him how to use his hands, teach him how to get off blocks, teach him how to play in space, teach him, you know, how not to get caught in a wash. I mean, a lot similar to what they're going through with Quincy's development. I mean, a lot of the time, Quincy doesn't know what he's looking at. He played a lot of football. You know, I mean, and when he did, it was, hey, bro, just be you and go get the ball. And he could do that every Friday night. But sometimes people would scheme against him and take him out of the game, and he didn't really know how to defend that. He didn't know how to beat that. He didn't know how to play against that. And those are good coaches just trying to take a good player out of the game, right? That's just too raw to know how to technically beat offensive game plans that are aimed to stop him. And he's getting that training. So it's just a matter of time, man.
Earl Savion Smith.
Right.
It's Savion Jones, Quincy Wiggins. One of them. One of the three.
Yeah, somebody.
But that video of Quincy, you talk about 3 square meals a day. He is a monster of a man.
He's always looked apart.
Did you see him standing next to Quad Wilson?
Uh-huh.
He's like,
he's like, same thing that hurts you don't hurt me.
Bigger than you.
But yeah, I mean, he's raw. He's as raw as he gets.
Yeah.
And that's when you hope that, I mean, obviously we're still on the timetable to see when LSU gets a defensive line coach, but that's the only thing lacking is once the light bulb goes on, you'll be hearing Wiggins a lot.
Yeah. And he'll be tough to keep off the field.
Yeah.
What you got, Steve?
Any more texts or anything?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Kenneth
Good morning.
from the mighty Mississippi River.
Ooh.
I was just wondering, what is Glenn Dorsey up to these days?
I believe Glenn Dorsey, the last time I heard, lives in Los Angeles and is married with, I believe, either a child on the way or he has one.
Maximus.
Did we not talk to him at some point?
We talked to him when he was honored at the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
College Football Hall of Fame.
When was that? Last year?
A couple years
2
ago.
years ago?
2 years ago.
Okay.
He's on Cameo if you want to holler at him.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does he live in L.A.?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
He has one son,
One son, that's right.
Maximus Zane.
Really? That's his name?
Mm-hmm.
Strong.
Sign him.
Sign him.
Sign him.
Yeah.
Today.
Sign him. I mean,
Yeah.
top 4 defensive football players I've ever seen at LSU.
Guy still looks great.
He's one of them.
Number 1, Glenn Dorsey. Number 2, Tyrann Mathieu. Number 3, Harold Perkins.
Oh, Patrick
Strong.
Peterson.
Number 4, Patrick Peterson.
I say, okay. I was wondering where you're gonna go with Pat.
I mean,
Pat's 3.
Yeah, Pat's.
Yeah, Harold got to do one more time.
Yeah.
that's fair.
Move Harold to 4.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You'd have to have Deion Sanders out there.
Harold Perkins is a little overreaction, but
It will be by the end. But yeah,
it's tough to keep him off the list, Coach.
yeah. But Glenn is a great ad, and Hester would talk about this all the time. People think he fell off, and like in his junior year, like after he got hurt, he said his numbers are better his junior year. Y'all just weren't watching it the same way.
Right.
And, like people were game planning to stop Glenn Dorsey, and he still was a problem.
And the hit he took at the Auburn game is still to this day the center pew for Auburn. I still remember. It's the dirtiest play I've ever seen in football. It's the dirtiest play
It's intentional.
I've ever seen in football. Pull it up, Stu.
What happened?
The center snaps the ball, takes a step back. The guard stands Dorsey up, straight up, and the center takes his helmet and spears Dorsey directly in his leg.
Oh my God.
I mean, the fact that Glenn Dorsey played another snap that season for LSU is a miracle. I'm telling you, it's a miracle. And he was never the same after that. He was still impactful, but about a series before that happened, there's a piece of film that is on every, I'll never forget, it was at the coach's clinic a couple of years ago. A NFL coach, a Seattle Seahawks defensive line coach, came through and said that there is a play, and he showed it. There's a play Glenn Dorsey makes in that game that is technically, it's as good of film as you can produce for a teaching and coaching copy. It's like Dorsey off the ball, straight arms, defensive line, stands the guy up, like gets his eyes to the running back, throws the guard, and I'm telling you, like throws him out of the way and gets up the line and makes the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, if you've ever seen a defensive line drill where it's like they're not going full speed, but like they snap the ball and they do like the hands and the footwork and then they get up the field, it is as technically sound of a football play as you can find. I mean, the guy was like, this play is on every defensive line's coach's copy that they show on the first day of what you're trying to do. You're trying to teach your players on the practice field technique that they can carry over to the game, and it should look like this. And Dorsey, bro, his high school film.
Cue it up, Stu.
His high school film.
I'm trying to find
If you've ever seen him play.
I got it in the doc.
At East Ascension, he was playing at EA like in a time where I saw him play against Redemptorist, and it wasn't Jeremy Hill, but they had a running back at the time that was a stud. It might have been Russell Gage. No, it wasn't Russell Gage.
Russell Gage
It wasn't Russell
is
Gage.
younger
Yeah,
than.
Russell Gage
He was way younger than Glenn
Dorsey.
Dorsey. But they had one of these guys at Redemptorist. Somebody help me out, because I know there's a lot of Redemptorist historians out there. But Glenn Dorsey
Jesus.
at the is that it, Stewie?
I don't know if that's it. Wait,
Is this the Auburn game?
Yeah, that's when he threw the dude.
That's
down.
it.
Okay.
They had Chaz
Play
Ramsey,
that one.
Chaz Ramsey.
Is that the one that had the dirty play on him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went down to
I
Tiger
need to
droppings.
see this.
I
The
did
build
find
up.
it in Tiger
Jeez,
Droppings,
the
but
build
I
up,
only found
y'all.
like a clip, and it was like a.
Oh, the GIF. Yeah, this is
the
at the 33-minute mark. It should pull up right to the play.
Larry Huger, was it Jay Lucas? It might have been Jay Lucas.
The suspense is
But
killing
Glenn
me.
Dorsey was
Attaboy.
chasing this cat
You know what I'm
down
doing.
sideline to sideline
You know what I'm
like
here.
he was a running back. I mean, it was
was a
one of the
menace.
it was one of the freakiest things you've ever seen, to see a defensive lineman like running step for step with a big time running back. I mean, this wasn't like this was some like some scrub. I mean,
I don't want no scrub.
I knew
Play
she
the
was-
damn clip.
That's right. He's getting us in the corner. I see what
coming,
man.
bro.
The man's working over here. Like, no, he's doing a good job.
good.
He's got little layers going over here, a little multi-view. See?
There we go.
Dorsey's in the middle of the screen at a 3-point stance.
Right here.
And watch him get held
He just
up.
went to his knee.
Dominant in this game.
Oh, my God, dude. He was such a killer. I mean, like, his junior year, his sophomore year, he was...
Oh, yeah. But that's what Hester always talks about. Right. It's like everybody...
He set the standard.
Yeah. Is that Kelvin Shepard?
Mm-hmm.
These are the old days when you would think, is that Perilou playing defense?
Yeah, on kickoff.
On kickoff, yeah.
That was the part where everybody was like,
"Don't put it
What
back."
is Perilou doing? I didn't know if they showed a replay of that.
Yeah, I was hoping they would. But
I didn't know if they showed a replay of that. But, I mean, it is clear. The guard stands him straight up, and Ramsey dives at his leg. I mean, he dives at his leg.
That was the Demetrius Bird game, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, that was a Les Miles special.
Look, he's on the bike.
Oh.
They're trying to get it right.
Yeah, but he's hurt.
Oh.
He still plays the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I don't know if he missed a game.
I don't think no.
I don't know if he missed a game all
But
year.
it looked like that all year. Like where you're like, there's no way he's 100%.
No. He never got going again.
They probably messed up his versus sack too.
I mean, it was just
his knee was probably so swollen after that.
He had no explosion.
No get off.
Like that was his deal. Like I mean,
Ever again after that?
oh
Like,
yeah,
he
yeah. I
lost
mean,
that?
once he got back to the league, once he was able to like go through an off season and rehab it and stay off of it. But I mean, Auburn. That's early October for LSU. I mean, you still got.
Yeah.
Florida.
You still got 8 games left.
Florida,
You still got
Bama.
the month of November to go through.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't even played Bama yet.
And that was when Arkansas was like top 5.
Yeah, Arkansas was good. I mean, Alabama was good. Florida was good. I mean, no, they had played Florida by then. But I mean, you had no Ricky Jean Francois next to him until
Ricky Jean.
Was he
Alabama?
Was he suspended?
until the SEC championship
game.
He played the SEC title and the national championship game and was the MVP of both of them.
Yeah.
Suspended or hurt?
Suspended.
He was suspended. Academics.
He got to pick and choose. We're gonna need you back for the SEC championship.
But I mean,
we got 6
how
games.
much could you have used Ricky Jean at this point?
Right.
After somebody chops Dorsey,
Yeah.
Chaz.
I mean, tries to chop his leg off, and you could just replace him with an All-American.
And Les is just on offense running 6 yards in a cloud of Hester, baby. Got Keelan Williams, but hey, Jacob Hester's better than him.
That offense could have been great. That offense could have been great. I mean, Brandon LaFell, early Doucet, Richard
Demetrius
Dixon.
Bird.
Dixon was a hell of a tight end. Keelan Williams, Jacob Hester. I mean, they had weapons everywhere.
Toss dive.
Les lessed it up.
What about Jacques? Is he coming in?
Yeah, he's supposed to be coming in at 8:30.
Okay.
All right, remember Daily, we're brought to you by Katie's Restaurant. Katie's located in the Mid-City over in New Orleans on Iberville Street. Katie'sInMidCity.com is where you can find them online. Katie'sInMidCity.com. Great menu items, St. Louis and New Orleans style items to choose from. Check them out online, Katie'sInMidCity.com, Katie'sInMidCity.com. We'll come back. We will have a discussion with Jacques coming up from WAFB, of course, our partner, our news partner over at WAFB 9. Download the app, and of course you can catch the Jordy Culotta Show, a part of their digital programming over there, as always. We'll be back with more of the show built by R&B Builders.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Fourier Insurance Agency, established in 1946, locally can help you with any of your home, auto, commercial, contractors, life and health insurance today. Give them a call, 225-383-0682, or log online to FourierAgency.com.
Hey, she's on her way up.
Hey, G, I got you something.
Hey, Coach. What do you think? Is this too much?
If you look good, you play good.
All right, then. Let's get it done.
Do you need your roof checked or just ready to get a new roof? Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal has helped over 10,000 customers with their roofs over the last 2 decades. Premier South employs over 300 team members in South Louisiana. They're accredited by the Better Business Bureau. They've been named in the top 100 roofers in the nation for a number of years. And Premier South has former insurance adjusters in-house whose job it is to help get all the insurance money you deserve. So go to PremierSouthLA.com for Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal and get your free inspection.
Premier South Roofing.
Welcome back. Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. As always, we are built by our friends over at RMB Builders, Rhett Bourgeois and the crew. They're at Katie's house now. Next phase.
Oh.
Okay.
Katie, plug that thing up.
Okay. All right.
Hold on.
Jacques here every Wednesday. We're going to talk to Shay Dixon.
Freaking give me my headphones and plug the mics in.
Oh, wow.
Good Lord.
It's not a big
David,
ass.
I'm sorry.
What week of the
Big
month?
ass.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, put
Third.
put the Mercury
See how I
in
get
retro-
treated around here, Josh?
Mercury's in
I tell you what,
retrograde.
you needed to be at after the LSU spring game. I went to see Richard Marks at LeBear's. You needed some of the
No, you
soft,
did not.
soft rocking of Richard Marks to calm everyone down this morning.
Wait, what's like one of his big hits?
Like elevator music, right?
I know it.
The
Say one.
Wherever you go, whatever you do. That was his hold on to the night.
I don't know.
Stewie's like, I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
That probably
I
is
just know
an
the guy that
elevator.
sang Banana
Yeah,
Boat
it is.
died.
A bunch of hits, man. That was the first like boy-girl slow dances in the Milton Gym back in the day.
Jeez.
Michael Bolton, Richard Marks. I mean,
Harry Belafonte.
Harry Belafonte.
He died.
Room
Rested,
for Jesus,
in
why
peace.
don't you, John?
Yeah.
That's right.
Look, he's very self-aware, very engaging with the audience. One of the first things he said was, I hope you folks are ready. I'm going to soft rock the bleep out of you guys
Oh,
tonight.
God.
Oh, calm down.
Everybody calm.
Jacques, you watched the spring game.
I did.
What'd you
I was
think?
There. You know, I walked away from it feeling like I had seen a team that's going to be 10-2 chalk, maybe, before the year. I think last year, the chalk was 6-6, and maybe even the local media had the purple and gold glasses on and picked them 8-4, and I think a lot of people thought that was optimistic. Jaden Daniels just looked like a guy ready to lead a team. I thought he was pretty sharp, just kind of got in and got out of it, very businesslike, threw the ball well. I don't think it is ridiculous to think that he is going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate. And the reason why I say that is that he makes the kind of plays that really pop to Heisman Trophy voters. You know, I'm a Heisman Trophy voter. A lot of us can be lazy on this thing, you know, and just kind of look for, oh, man, that was a great highlight. Oh, that was a great highlight. So he's an electric runner, and if he improves his passing. Now, look, the two things aren't mutually exclusive. I can also say that Garrett Nussmeier is ready to be electric as well. And so I thought offensively they looked pretty good. You know, the Kyron Lacey catch and run, that's pretty awesome. But then I'm sure Matt House is watching that saying, hey, we missed about 3 or 4 tackles on that. So that's always the kind of the give and take. Hey, that was a great offensive play, but did we screw it up defensively? I thought it was telling in the post game that Brian Kelly, who would tell you like he sees it, that, hey, I feel pretty good, but if we have a few injuries here and there, we could be in trouble. And I watched the Josh Pate video, and he kind of talked about that too in terms of, is that the difference between a 10-2 and a 7-5 if you get a few guys hurt? So I think they're going to be a fun team to watch. I think they're going to be a fun team to cover. They obviously have their act together a lot more. They understand the culture more than they did a year ago at this time. But there's question marks, you know. I mean, running back by committee again, right? Yeah. I mean, there's not a bell cow back there. Josh Williams is back June 1st. John Emery is in limbo, academic limbo again. You've got, Trey Holly got in the end zone, made some plays, but he's a true freshman. Noah Cain maybe, they talked about him in terms of Coach Kelly said we might be sleeping on him a little bit. You know, last year Noah Cain was kind of the A to B guy, just kind of straight ahead, not a whole lot of shake, touchdown guy, goal line guy. Talked to him the other night at the Mikey's, that academic awards show, and he felt like he was ready to showcase his complete game. So
John Emery probably was not there at that event.
Who was that?
John Emery probably was not at the Mikey's.
I just saw that was an event.
John Emery.
Oh, John Emery. I got you. My bad.
Was that yesterday?
That was last week. It was last Wednesday.
I never knew about that event. That was the first I'd seen of it. The Mikey's.
Yeah, the LSU sports people, they made an effort to really invite us and tell us to come. And they said all the athletes will walk down the red carpet, which is a gold carpet, and said, you can interview anybody you want. I said, hell yeah, I'm going. So we interviewed Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier and all these people we didn't get to interview during the spring. So I thought it was a good trip.
Nice.
Savvy move. You know, it's named after Mikey Matuk.
No, it's not.
I
mean, nice try, Lloyd.
Ryan Clark
I
was
did
the
wonder
MC.
why it was
and-
named that.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It was only student athletes. No parents, no fans. It was just them. So it's cool.
That's cute.
LSU basketball. Women's
Silence.
basketball. No, I thought he was about to ask a question.
No, I was taking it all in.
Last week we were waiting on news from the women's side, and yesterday we talked to Coach Reedus, and we asked him, should we be expecting some news over the next couple of days or maybe hours? And I mean, it feels like this Haley Van Lith situation should pop pretty soon, right? I mean, one way or the other.
Yeah, I think all of us in the local media, they were like, wait, son of a, who's going to break it while, we're asleep or something, because it feels like from the get-go that, yeah, we're going to get her, or, we feel really good about our chances that we're going to get her. Now, what's the holdup? I mean, I'd heard something in the beginning about maybe she's graduating from Louisville and then maybe wants to do the graduation ceremony and then, or whatever. Then I see that she's following everybody on Instagram that has anything to do with LSU, the players, the coaches. I haven't heard anything to the contrary, like, oh, no, she's thinking about going to Iowa, or no, she's going to South Carolina. I haven't heard any of that. So it just seems like it's just a matter of time, unless this thing takes a left turn. But it hasn't felt that way. And then Anissa Morrow announced her top three with LSU and South Carolina, and then USC was kind of a perplexing choice in there.
NIL, Jacques.
Yeah. Well, NIL, Los Angeles.
Man, USC is they're in the game. I mean, you saw Bear Alexander, the defensive tackle from Georgia. I mean, a lot of people thought he was going home. He's from Texas. He's from right outside of there. I mean, like, people thought it was kind of a done deal. He was going back home. He was going to go to Texas, and I mean, maybe not out of nowhere, but I mean, surprisingly to some people, he ended up at USC. And you read kind of between the lines, and it's NIL money. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, and this is a whole wide open topic, but, I had a good discussion. I was on another show and just talking about NIL and transfer portal, and are these things really good for the sport? I mean, LSU is a have. They are not a have not.
Right.
So I guess it's not our problem or LSU fans' problem. But, like Kim Mulkey played for Louisiana Tech, for example. Like, if Louisiana Tech, they find a diamond in the rough, and they cultivate this young lady and they literally feed her and and house her and develop her, and then she gets good enough to say, yeah, later I'm bouncing, I'm going to LSU, or I'm going to a bigger school. Is that good for college sports?
Right.
I mean, you got senior days now where you literally have seniors that were with you for 1 year. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like Kim Mulkey took LaDasia Williams and Alexis Morris. Those were her two representatives at SEC Media Days this year. One of them who had never played at LSU, period. So your days of, it looks like, okay, now you get Michaela Williams and Aaliyah Del Rosario and Janae Kent and Angelica Velez. These young women may play 3-4 years for you. But, it's the rules of engagement, as Will Wade would say, and it's either you get on board with it or somebody's going to be saying, well, you didn't catch up with the times and somebody else did it. So,
right. What do you make of this baseball team? I know that they lose last night in another midweek game, but they sweep on the road at Ole Miss, I think, is the bigger story for staying number one in the country. What do you make of Alabama coming in this week?
Yeah, I'm sure Jay Johnson didn't sleep great last night after losing to Nichols, and they lost a game to the Raging Cajuns last week in the midweek. Is it meaningless? I don't want to say it's meaningless, but at the end of the day, if you're taking care of your conference and you go to Ole Miss obviously struggling, and they were struggling last year before they caught lightning in a bottle and won the title. But it looks like if you take a look at LSU's schedule, now when you're in the SEC and the second you assume you're going to sweep somebody and this is going to be an easy weekend, that's when you get swept. So you can never take it easy. But it looks like the back half of the SEC schedule is much lighter than the front half.
Sure.
When they were playing Tennessee and Arkansas and Kentucky and all these people. So I really think they got a chance to fatten up their record on the back half. Now, can Ty Floyd go out there and do that again? Can Christian Little go out and do that again? I think Thatcher Hurd did a decent job. I didn't watch the game last night, but his stat line looked like he did a decent job last night. Can they get Thatcher Hurd back on the horse? But the other guys they pitched last night looked like they all gave up runs. Riley Cooper, Bryce Collins, I think, gave up some runs late in that game. So I think the question still is, okay, you're going to hit, you're going to score. And Tommy White didn't play last night, but I don't think that's serious.
Trey Morgan didn't play last night.
Oh, Trey didn't play either. All right. Well, and then Kling, he still hadn't played.
He's still in the dugout. Yes.
And then they announced yesterday that Chase Shores is out for the year.
They did announce Chase. Okay.
And then
Garrett Edwards
is scheduled to have surgery this week, I believe today.
Oh, okay. Because I went to the media availability on Monday.
Right.
And when he got asked about Chase Shores and Garrett
Edwards.
No, nothing.
It
was the old Sean Payton. I don't like this question. I'm turning this way real quick.
He's starting to get viscerally upset when you ask about those two pitchers. Because
I guess that's why they yesterday had to make the statement.
Yeah, because he's tired of asking, because I don't think that there's any good news on that front. So he's like, quit asking, because it's going to be surgery for probably both of them. The only thing that would make you not think that Edwards was having surgery was the video that came out of him throwing a football.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, maybe he's rehabbing.
Yeah, that was the only thing.
But if it's going to drop, it sounded like they both are going to have surgery, but I don't know anything.
Well, that's tough, man. I mean, you talk about a lot more players and a much bigger roster, but LSU women's basketball, they had good fortune.
Yeah.
Nobody got hurt, no injuries. Thomas Linné, their strength and conditioning coach, we talked about that at the parade and, said we were fortunate. They had that 2-week window between the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament. They hit the weights 4 or 5 times a week, and you think, well, okay, how much can that really help in 2 weeks, Don't you need months of lifting and nutrition? But apparently it made a difference because, like last year Alexis got hurt, and so this is not good, obviously, for LSU baseball, the amount of guys that have gotten hurt. I'm sure has nothing to do with their training or their regimen or whatever. It's just
happens.
Bad fortune, as Skip would say. Ooh,
long season there.
Here we go.
Guys get hurt.
Everybody get going on the heavy breathing.
You see Jacques, we don't play just once a week.
One of my favorite John Brady stories with Jaime Ureta. You remember old Jaime?
Jeez, do I remember?
Like, where's Waldo? Where's Jaime?
What a player.
He was great.
SEC Player of the Year.
He was a good player, like a warrior. He couldn't hit a shot from about 10 feet, but put him on the inside, get rebounds, put backs.
Bully everybody.
So it was, I think LSU had started 17-4, and Jaime had a big game at Florida, and they beat Florida at Florida in the heyday of Billy Donovan, which was a huge win. You could tell Jaime was starting to limp. Something was going on with the foot. We go to practice, and Jaime's not at practice. And we asked John Brady, where's Jaime? And he did not want to talk about it, And the team went from 17-4 to like losing 6 of their last 7 games, going to the NIT, getting beat by Oklahoma or whatever. And I just remember Brady saying, because it was fresh off the national championship with Saban, it was like, it'd be like Matt Malk getting hurt and being out, okay? Because I seen the other guy play, all right? I seen you put him in, it's a whole different team. So, yes, injuries to certain people can really impact the entire season. Yeah.
John Brady, George Sells.
Oh, George, man. Yeah, that was the great time of news where we didn't tiptoe around everyone's feelings. We just told it like it is, and if that hurts your feelings, well, just improve. Because I remember when I first got there, and I'm stumbling, and I can't. I mean, you talk about speed of the game, going from Alexandria, Louisiana to Baton Rouge, teleprompter, and Paul Gates, the late great Paul Gates. Yes. He was the weekend anchor when I first started, and I'm sweating at the top of my lip. I'm trying to keep up and get this Cajun accent.
Forgot how to read. Yeah.
So he's running the teleprompter next to me. Paul Gates has like a foot pedal, and the prompter's rolling up, and so in my opinion, he was going way too fast, and so. The sportscast wraps up. We do the 2-shot at the end, and I said something stupid about, well, I'm sorry I screwed up. Paul was running the pedal or whatever. And Paul said, sorry about that, and you screwed up. You certainly don't need any help. And he's just like, boom, And George Sells, like around the same time, said, when things go wrong and you start looking down like this and that, you're not communicating anything, You're not communicating a single thing. Yeah. So, that's back when, it's true. I sucked, I had to get better, I remember getting in the car and listening to Jimmy Ott and his callers one day, just nailing me to the cross,
Oh, wow.
About how bad this new guy sucks and how many times a week is he on, 4 or 5, blah, blah, blah. But it was a great motivator, so I was like, well, I'm going to try to get better. So, I mean, they were right. But anyway, I don't know how I got off on that tangent. George Sells and John Brady and people that told the truth,
That's right. Just
Kim
told you
Mulkey.
like it was. Kim Mulkey
tells the truth.
I think that's why people have an easy target on her. I really do. I think that the outspoken nature that she just kind of shows up with, it turns a lot of people off.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go to the, sexism, but it's sexism. I mean, a lot of it. I mean, look, Sean Payton, huge ego. I mean, huge ego, all right? Big winner, great coach, best coach the Saints ever had. Nick Saban, huge ego. Look, I love Skip Burtman more than anybody. Huge ego. I mean, big ego. I mean, if you're a winning legend, hey, Jacques, I caught you on that show. Listen.
And I've changed a little bit.
Yeah, softened.
Yeah, right.
But,
what you said, Jacques.
Dale Brown. I mean,
I won 6 natty.
I mean, I might have a reason to be that way.
People know who I am. It's Skip Burton Field.
So, but yeah, I think it's a case where sometimes Kim Mulkey acts the same way and portrays the same things that male coaches have done, and for some reason it's like, somebody could say, oh, that loudmouth woman, but I think most people, obviously, everyone around here just loves it and is eating it up. I think LSU put out where their social media platforms were, the 3 when they hired her and where they are now, and the numbers and the multiplication of popularity and all that. I mean, it is just incredible. I go to the Hell Club in the morning, and people are talking to me now about, hey, are they going to get the Haley Van Lith girl? Or where are they going to be ranked next year? Who do you think is going to be the preseason favorite? It's the same as football now, as opposed in the past, it was like nobody talked about it at all.
Who's
really.
the coach?
Right.
I mean,
they done? They didn't make it? They made the tournament? They got bounced in the first round again?
Right.
So that kind of thing. So now, I mean, people are engaged in women's basketball and talking about it. And men, I mean, talk to Mike Scarborough, people like that. He had people on his website, the stereotypical 50 to 60-year-old man who was like, never watch a game. I don't care about that. And now they're just, I mean, he talks about it. Yeah. The numbers he gets on a Kim Mulkey post-game press conference are now like more than the end of the Alabama LSU game with the 2-point conversion and stuff like that. So, yeah. But yeah, she's a polarizing figure to a lot of people. And look, I don't want to be just the local guy that's, Kim's got you under her spell and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the things that I've heard from the outside and written as articles, like they're fact, and what I've seen, she doesn't get along with the LBGT community. She's racist. I'm like, I've watched her for 2 years. She gets along with everyone. So, I don't know if I've said too much this morning, but
no, because I completely agree with you, and I think that's what, I think that's what has built this defense mechanism around her locally, is that the criticism is so off base.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that there is a lot of people that speak towards her and at her in this tone that they believe that she's almost something that she's not. And she kind of addresses that when she speaks about it. I mean, like, she usually calls that criticism out. I mean, like, she's not one to run from it, and she'll usually spin it. She'll usually like turn it around on the person or on the subject.
Well, the Brittany Griner situation, it's a complicated situation. Okay, it's a relationship with a coach and a player, and how that went. It's complicated. It went sideways. But for so many people to judge her on one relationship with one player, in terms of, she coached at Louisiana Tech for years as an assistant, at Baylor for years as the head coach, and now 2 years at LSU, countless players. And for some people say, well, she doesn't care about her former players because, look, just hypothetical here, it might be a case of, well, if I do say something, then Brittany Griner's people can say, can you believe that Kim Mulkey acting like she cares about me and my situation in Russia? So it's probably a case of damned if you do, damned if you don't, and that's the route she took on that. And that was one thing that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, is that a lot of people said she doesn't care about her former players because of one instance with one player, which we don't know the ins and outs of that, and just like a family or whatever, sometimes it's none of your business too. So
what's coming up on the desk?
I'm not gonna get fired by the end of the day.
Not by us.
I think today's the draft, right?
Tomorrow. Now you're getting
Wednesday,
fired.
Thursday. Okay, I've lost track of days here. Let's see. I'm supposed to go, Gordon. I'm supposed to go chat with Malik today, Neighbors.
Okay.
This morning, so I'm gonna go see him. and I'm actually off today. I'm taking some time off. I'm going to go to Festival International this weekend in Lafayette.
Nice. Is that this weekend?
You going too?
One of my
Stewie?
Yeah,
Am I
I know. I saw
gonna
the
bump
sign
into
up
Stewie?
yesterday.
Soft rock the.
Soft rock. Yeah, I don't think Richard Markson is coming to this one. But yeah,
I love the Festival International.
It's a great festival.
It's a great one.
it's kind of one of those deals where you go and you really don't know anybody who's playing.
Right.
I've been a lot.
It's not like we're going to see this person or that person.
I really go for the
social.
food. I go for
yeah.
the food.
Yeah, the food is
good.
It's the play.
I mean, and the people. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, Lafayette.
Live music.
Baton Rouge is great.
Smells.
Lafayette's great. They're different, though.
Yeah.
It's more of a, Meshach, come over here. Have something to eat, you know. Have a beer, you know. So,
I
yeah.
mean, the difference in I-10 from Lafayette, Baton Rouge to New Orleans is, I mean,
is.
it's like 3 different countries.
It is.
Yeah.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
337 is the best though.
No doubt. I've been here 20 some odd years, and there's things I'm still learning every day. How to act and how to carry myself as opposed to Lafayette. And then New Orleans, like you said, whole nother thing.
It's a whole nother continent.
But if you put them all in a car together, it's a hell of a ride.
Right.
Like they all get along, but it's just like almost like 3 different personalities.
At times they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, at Festival Day International.
What they have in common is fantastic.
Yes.
What they bicker about.
Then you go to Shreveport. That's a whole nother dynamic.
It really is.
You ain't
Even like
around here.
Monroe.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, this is Louisiana.
I got family from both, so I don't want to, talk too much. But yeah, you go north of Alexandria.
Culture change.
Yeah, some people call that Southern Arkansas.
They don't like me on my North Louisiana hit with Sean Fox every week. I mean, I'm still.
How's Arkansas today?
Yeah, right.
So I'm just glad Alexandria doesn't get lumped in there. We are on a little sin law.
Alexandria's
I
still.
mean, y'all are kind of the cutoff.
I know. We barely made the cut.
You barely make it.
I always found it
318,
interesting.
baby.
Oh, yeah.
The
I know.
ECHL hockey team in Shreveport was called the Mudbugs.
Oh, yeah.
So that was like, I don't think I've ever eaten crawfish in Shreveport.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
But have you ever been?
Convenient for y'all up there to not
Have you ever been to a Mudbugs game?
They were the one that lasted the longest.
Mm-hmm.
They had the best. Lafayette used to pack it every night, but they were still playing the Shreveport team as
Isn't hockey
recently.
coming back?
Whenever I was in,
I think they're bringing it back, yeah.
I think it's coming back here.
Wait, Ice Skaters over?
I'm excited.
Kingfish.
How long has that
Yeah,
been over?
that's right. Kingfish.
The Ice Skaters have been kaput for a bit. They brought them back.
Yeah, they did.
Then it was like they were like in the Blackham Coliseum or something, and but man, that and not to you were trying to wrap me up a while ago, but the Lafayette Ice Skaters.
Run the pedal.
The Lafayette Ice Skaters were like the first play music while the action was going on. Entertainment where it's not so much.
It's not all about the game.
It's not all about the game.
Yeah.
And I remember they used to, they'd score a goal. You'd have 10,000 people doing the chomp like they were in the swamp. And those guys were superstars in Lafayette.
They were superstars here.
Yeah.
In Baton Rouge, the Kingfish.
Kingfish.
They're starting it again.
I know. I'm excited.
I don't think
I'd
they've
love
named
to
the
watch.
team yet. I think they're running a poll to see what the name of the new hockey team will be. So I'll leave it up to the people in Baton Rouge. I'm sure that won't go poorly at all.
I mean, this one.
It'll be something Red Stick. Something.
I'm with Jordy. I
don't understand why sports
We gotta enter this
franchises
contest.
overthink
Is there a
this stuff.
contest?
Retro plays every single day in a sports franchise. When in doubt and your marketing department can't come through and they can't give you anything new and creative,
Play the hits.
Go back to your 1980s and 90s logo to where you can sell all of your merch and bring everybody back. Go back to your original logo. Go back to your original name. If you're debating whether or not bringing back the Baton Rouge Kingfish, do not overthink this thing. I mean, like, they have a great logo.
Yeah, they do.
They have a fantastic logo.
Let me see.
They have a name that everybody is behind.
That's so weird. I don't know that I agree with you on
My
the logo.
friend,
Well, I mean, you're not from here.
It's like a fish
first
playing
time it
hockey,
was
though.
here. Exactly.
What more could he ask
What else
for?
do you want? It's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I mean, like, every time
I
it
think we can
snows
come up
here,
with something
life
better.
shuts down. I mean, they have no snow. Nobody knows around ice skate around here.
What is a
Not the
kingfish?
fish, at least. They don't know what the
Give him
hell
a
they're
hockey
doing on the
stick.
ice.
What
hockey
else
puck
do
in his
you
mouth.
eat? Yeah, they did. You haven't tried it.
My good friend Patrick Wilkerson over at Bengals and Bandits, they still sell Baton Rouge Kingfish merchandise.
Really?
And I'm with you. I think that just
Thank you,
makes
Joe.
a whole lot of sense. Let's not do some sort of
Right. Come on.
you
No,
know,
Lloyd and I've
Bayou
already got it going. It's like red
bats or-
stick, something red stick with a
Yeah,
red
Baton Rouge
hockey
red
stick.
sticks, and
Yeah,
it's
just
a
a red
hockey
hockey
stick.
stick.
I mean,
I think they've done that on.
But a
like an
fish,
American
a
Legion
fish,
baseball
a
team.
fish holding a hockey
I'm
stick
trying
and
to
a
start
fin
a
is better.
12U team for Jordan this summer. We're gonna call them the
red sticks, and then you have a baseball bat. It
But
works
it
for
just
anything.
works, right? That's what we're called. It's a hockey stick.
Andrew Messina,
I'm gonna
hashtag
kingfish.
Ask Jacques. Should LSU bring back the block lettering in the end zone?
Oh,
that was 80s.
Early 2000s.
Remember, like,
I love that look. My first LSU football games, I think, were in 1987, and they had
the bubble letter.
I like
almost.
Yeah, I like that look.
Me too.
And then they had the state of Louisiana,
And
which
they put the Louisiana on the 50 with the star on.
they
Baton
had the
Rouge.
star where Baton Rouge is.
That's right.
I love
That's where
that look.
That's where I got that idea from.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. Except it was all purple
Right.
and
And it said the path.
No. This is
Okay.
they
Oh.
used to paint.
This is before the
Like
pass.
before the
field.
path?
On the 50, they would paint the state of Louisiana, and they would
Oh,
put
they already did
the
this.
gold star where Baton Rouge was,
Cute.
and in the end zones, like for instance, like the earthquake game has
I like the end zones like that.
like the bubble letter end zones.
yeah, I like that look.
Me too.
I'm trying to think. During the Curly days, I'm trying to remember how it all looked and everything. But
During the Curly days, I think they just did like the very like basic like they put tigers in the end zone in gold. And
Yeah.
like painted the tiger in gold, but kept like the grass natural.
they brought back the eye of the tiger during
And then
Curly.
they brought back the eye of the tiger.
Like
on the
91,
50.
I think they had it.
Because the eye was there for like the 70s and early 80s games.
Yeah.
You know, you go back and watch it, and the eye
In the
it's
middle?
like crazy. Like that, I didn't know that was there. Yeah, like the eye.
Yeah,
of the
people
tiger.
don't want that to leave.
If
No,
you
it's
go,
always
Because somebody
one.
like showed options of it and without the eye, and they were like, "You have to have the eye." Everybody was losing their minds over it.
and it wasn't Georgia, but there used to be bushes down there too.
Hedges.
Hedges, yeah.
They called it between the hedge.
Yeah, 1979. If you go back, like there's some things on YouTube.
Between the bushes.
Tigers playing between the hedges.
Like for years, I had heard about this LSU USC 79 game,
Oh my
God.
goodness.
Oh my God.
and it was almost like
It's
ancient
folklore.
legend. I'd never seen any video of it,
Right.
and thank God for YouTube. Like I found it one day. There it is.
And it's still very grainy and like
Yeah.
gray and
Just get Hannah to tell you the story.
yeah. Hannah Griff's
Hannah-
got
He
great
can
stories on it.
go like from kick to whistle the whole game.
But Steve Insmaker threw a touchdown.
That's right.
Insmaker's playing quarterback.
That's right.
And you see the late call, the controversial was Benji Thibodeau grabbed the guy by the face mask or
mask.
didn't, and Johnny Robinson
Johnny Robinson, Marcus Allen,
was
Anthony
yeah,
Munoz.
Yeah.
Like that team was loaded.
yeah. I think Kim Mulkey talked about that game, like maybe she'd gone that game as a kid or something like that, or as a young like teenager or something. But yeah, I mean, it was funny when Robinson coached the Rams in the NFL.
Yeah.
And they played the Saints, and he'd pop up, and my dad would be like, "That fat." He's like, "We should have beat them in '79. We had the game won." Blah, blah, blah. And I saw Robinson win. I didn't say the fat part, but I told him, I said, "My dad used to curse you out on TV because he thought we should have won that game." And blah blah blah. He's like, "Oh well, it was a heck of a game. We were fortunate to win, you know, and all that."
We had
So-
Marcus Allen on the radio, and we asked. Marcus Allen was a freshman in that game, and he was actually playing fullback. And he said that he had relatives from another South Louisiana guy. He had relatives in New Orleans, so he had gone to LSU games before, and he had never, he never realized that they put the tiger next to the opposing. That's
In
when
the
they used to
cage.
put they would put Mike
On the field.
in a trailer.
Yeah, I remember
and they
that.
would back the trailer up. I'm telling you, like within feet of the opposing team walking out. And I
That's
mean, like
terrifying.
obviously, like this is gonna piss a tiger off, and they would put a microphone in the trailer with him, and Mike would be kind of
man.
like freaking. I mean, like
You can't
in
get away with
today's
that
world,
anymore.
I mean, like Peter would
Peter.
have a field. day.
Yeah.
I mean, they would be laying down on the field.
Yeah.
Oh,
They would.
God.
But I mean,
God,
like, Marcus Allen said, like he was like, dude, we come walking out of we come walking out of the locker room, bro, and like some dude comes running to the back, and like they got a tiger outside. And they're like,
Coach O would talk about it too.
terrifying.
Coach O was a grad assistant on the Miami Hurricanes. I went to that game in 1988 as a kid. That's the old
Storm that night,
Never
didn't it?
rains in Tiger Stadium.
It
Yeah, right.
stormed.
Monsoon that
Monsoon.
night. Steve Walsh.
Yeah.
I don't.
Was Michael Irvin on
I don't think so. I think that was the guy that the Saints drafted. Brett Perriman was on that team. Anyway, they came in and
killed LSU.
The late Ruffin Rodri, God bless him. I think that was the game he said, well, we moved the ball, we just didn't score or something like that, and which they did, but it was 20-3 at the half, and it was 44-3 was the final score or whatever. But yeah, I think Coach O said something like, "Oh, I came out the tunnel, and they had that tiger right there in the cage," and so Tiger didn't help LSU that night, but yeah, they used to, they'd tick him off, they poke him or something and make him roar.
Hit the cage.
Yeah.
Everybody slapped the cage.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
The other team did?
Yeah.
Man.
It was.
And each year they kind of dial it back.
Yeah, they said first they were like cattle prodding him to they kind of zapped him to get him going, and he would meow into the microphone.
Dave Baker took care of him. He was his caretaker. And he just retired. Dave was a great guy, and we talked to him, but it was like he would talk to him about the emails he would get about Mike the Tiger and how entertaining some of them were, like the cattle prod, electric shock him and do this and that. And they just got to the point where it was like, well, tigers are not used to being looked at by thousands of people. Well, if you want to see him, go see him in his habitat. And old timers like my dad be like, that damn tiger, that's his one job. Get that tiger in the stadium.
Right. Screw that tiger down there between the bushes.
Tiger doesn't have any feelings.
He didn't do anything all day. I see him every time I look. He's napping.
I know he freaked Marcus Allen out. Put him back out there.
It
works. Jacques, good to see you.
Great to see you. Thank you.
We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. It's Wednesday, which means Jay Johnson's going to be on with Mikey and the crew. Stop in for Mic'd Up, 6 to 8 o'clock. Jared Mitchell, Mikey Montook, and the boys breaking it down. Jay Johnson will stop through and give a preview for a wow. You've met him, too. Jay Johnson's going to give a preview to Bama coming up on Mic'd Up today.
Maybe a little tailgate Friday for the boys.
Have a great day.
What's that picture, Stu?